I'm a huge college football fan. I don't like the playoffs. I'd never liked the playoffs. I had to remind myself this morning that the playoff games were even this Saturday. I want to throw out the question, has the college football playoff been a success?
I think it's been a tremendous success, especially during the regular season. You pay attention more. When you see the losses in the regular season, whatever that may be, an Alabama game, you know where to apply that in terms of the college football playoff structure. Before those losses, it was too vague. Which bowl are they going to go to now? So you wouldn't even feel the same impact.
How would it affect the rankings?
Yeah, rankings, yeah. But the rankings wasn't always directly correlated to the bowl structure. But now you have that. And more importantly, here's the best example. This year, there are 3 teams that are 13-0, undefeated. So in your system, guess what would have happened? One of those teams, Clemson, the defending national champions with Trevor Lawrence, would not have been in the national championship game.
Are you a BCS guy? You like
I didn't like any of it. I liked the bowl system. College football was perfectly fine. The most powerful regular season in all of sports. It didn't need all these extra these teams playing 14, 15 games.
Starting game 4, it was powerful.
And here we are 24 hours before the playoffs, and there's no real buzz and hype around it. I just don't think it's been a success.
I think the playoff, I played in the BCS era. We won BCS championships. We also got left out of the BCS in 2003. We ended up sharing a title with LSU, but the BCS left us out. I think I've always been a fan of college football, and the more the merrier, and the more opportunity. And the playoff has given more teams opportunity to get in. And I know the SEC has been very dominant. I get that. The Pac-12 has been left out the last couple of years, but it at least opens the door for all of these conferences to have a seat at the dance. And then what happens, you know, you got to go out and take care of business. And I think to this year especially, the storylines, and I just disagree. I think the storylines, you have a Heisman winner, you have Fields, you have all the Heisman finalists playing in these games. You have a defending national champ who no one's respecting that I think, and you know, Doug and I talked about earlier, I think they might be the best team in college football. You have Ohio State who's loaded. I mean, it's a fun matchup. And then you talk about the layoff. I think this year the scheduling and the calendar year it was kind of a quirky year that there's a 16-day. The NFL does the same thing. I mean, you know, NFL and college are different, but the conference championship game to the Super Bowl is 14 days. And we don't complain about the layoff and that. So I think the buzz is real. I think these teams are phenomenal, and I think the storylines and the players, I think it's awesome.
Some of the flaws in it are within its control. Some of it are without its control.
Right.
You know, half the country with SC not being any good, half the country doesn't care, right? You can't make people in the West Coast care about Clemson and Alabama and schools in the Southeast. It becomes very, very regional. So that's out of their control. Not having a set date. College football used to be January 1st.
Right.
And you'd sit down and you wouldn't move.
Yep.
And we lost that. They gave it away. They said, it's okay. We'll give it away so we can create a real national champion instead of a fictional. And that was the big mistake that they made.
Well,
I don't actually think that the system itself, the system is flawed, right? Because it used to have the most powerful regular season. Now it kind of does and it kind of doesn't. You win your conference, you might have a chance, but you might not. It depends on what conference you win.
Well, that's why I think we should expand. I always think there's expansion,
okay,
which I know a lot of.
No, but there's flaws to that, too,
There's
right?
flaws in any system.
Agreed.
That's why they shouldn't have left it alone. It was perfectly fine.
No, you guys.
Or just do a +1, right? Just add one game. At the end, hey, we need one more game. We'll have one more game. Instead, we have like the seeds leading up that show. That's a waste of time. Nobody cares. Right? All that stuff. But they had the 1st of January. The 1st of January is college
But
football.
you know why they don't have it? It's not so much they gave it up. It's the Rose Bowl got extended with ESPN, which was supposed to be about the greater structure, but then that turned into the Rose Bowl having, as they say, separate initiatives. Now, some people within the structure of college football playoffs saying the Rose Bowl's in the way, but they have their deal. The Sugar Bowl has their deal, and they're saying, look, if you don't give us the semifinal games, then we're going to have some issues. So the Rose Bowl extended it into the mid-2020.
Because they've done it for 100 years.
Right, but they also got away from it early 2000s when they start. Michigan and Nebraska was the first game, like Miami, Nebraska. That's when the Rose Bowl started to do so. It's boring, the details, but basically it's complicated within. But this is all going to iron itself out. But right now, I'm excited. 3 transfers are playing in the college football playoffs. We're Heisman finalists. This is great.
The playoffs averaged 25 million viewers last year. That was like the 3rd or 4th highest show behind NFL playoffs. The college football playoff, the title game has averaged 29 million viewers. in the last 3 or 4 years. People watch. People like it.
No,
so
that's not the question. The question wasn't do people watch, because people would watch and people would like it if you had the bowl system as well, especially when you had the right bowl match.
You played in the highest
ranking. You played the highest ranking game. That was in the BCS. That was rated higher. So
I like the playoff system because it gives more teams opportunity to win.
Does it?
It does, absolutely.
I mean,
they just keep coming out of SEC, but it gives more opportunity.
Who's won the national championship last year? ACC, Clemson.
But let's
Alabama's not even in the
and Florida State's won it as well. But
yeah.
let's also point out the #1 seed hasn't won it. Now, maybe that means they're overrated, but also
that's why I think it's great. You never know. And I think this year, to Marcellus's point, this year, I'm telling you, these top 4 teams.
Y'all don't even remember.
It is amazing, though, right? Like, he's old enough to remember, but you played it.
I played it.
You didn't really split a national championship.
No, but I won a title. 04, we won a championship.
You want co-champions again?
No.
You want to go back to co-champions?
No, but that one you weren't really co-champions, were you?
Co-champions? Both teams celebrated.
We were AP national champions.
No.
You have a ring for the AP?
I do.
Okay.
No. I got a ring and a trophy.
I'm just telling y'all,
I don't like it.
College football was unique from the NFL. And the more they try to, let's do a playoff and make it like the NFL, the more it diminishes itself.
They're not trying to make it like the NFL.
Well, I don't care. They're trying to do it like everybody else.
That's
well, like everybody. And college basketball, regular season is a joke and has been destroyed.
Correct.
And now the NCAA tournament ain't what it used to be either. So this whole little, you got to have a playoff for sports to be special and blah, blah. No, college football, other than the NFL, was the greatest thing going. It's regular season. I'm going all the way back to Archie Griffin and O.J. Simpson.
I wasn't even born yet.
It was awesome. And so what? That Joe Paterno cried because his team didn't get ranked #1. That was awesome too. Arguing about who got robbed and who should have been #1, and all this stuff of like, we need a playoff and it's gonna make it so magical. It hasn't materialized. You know what's bigger than those games Saturday? Antonio Brown working out for the Saints. It gets smothered by the damn NFL.
It does get smothered
There's more
by the NFL.
interest in the NFL's Week 17 and their playoffs, and they should be playing on January 1.
I agree.
And we'd all be sitting around talking about how great college football is.
That's the hurdle.
Listen, when Archie Griffin played, man, they didn't have social media. They didn't have every dang thing, being covered by the media. So it's a different world we live in. So.
Yeah, and you know what social media does? It distorts the truth. And so you're right. The truth of how great those Ohio State teams were with Archie Griffin didn't get distorted by social media and make everybody convinced that, oh, my God, if he doesn't play Alabama, how can we respect
that?
They
played the milkman. They had the milkman out there with their accountants. No lineman on my face.
I think the good is that teams are scheduling up more in the non-conference more than they used to. Right? You have to in order to get respect. Okay.
Right.
The bad is that it does diminish the value. Ohio State sneaking its way in a couple years ago with a third-string quarterback end up winning a national championship as opposed to teams that do it the entire year don't lose a game. But I think the big thing is giving away the 1st of January was a colossal mistake.
Yep.
And if you want to remedy things, forget adding teams, subtracting teams. Dominate that day because that's the day which we all go, January 1st, college football. That's it.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. And be sure to check out more of the best clips from Speak For Yourself or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.